Well, Mark Stiles is with us, Stiles Law, and we answer your questions. If you have a question, by the way, for a future segment, legal question, we'll try to best answer it as best we can about any of the subjects that Mark deals with. You can text in, and we may use it on a future segment. So you can text 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900 for a future segment. All right, question this week is about real estate. This is one before I think we have talked about before. Mark says, Mark, enjoy the segment very much. I've heard you talk a lot about dealing with real estate from time to time. I am wondering if I even need a realtor now. Can I just sell my house on my own? The market seems so good, I can just save the money.
You know, it's funny. We get this question a lot around this time of year because historically, there's not as many homes on the market during the winter months. So they think, well, if there's not that many, then I'm in a good position. And why do I need a real estate agent? But Rob, I encourage people to think about this. If you had appendicitis, would you go to the kitchen and grab a steak knife and take out your appendix?
No, I don't want to do it. I'm squeamish. No, that's why I know I could never be a doctor. I'm not even thinking about that.
You know, so we use that as a visual for obvious reasons because professionals are so necessary, and they're necessary in all fields, right? We talk about it with the estate planning all the time, and we talk about it with financial advice. You don't want to be that do-it-yourselfer. And the reality of it is why, right? So, you know, you value your time, obviously, but do you really know the market? Do you understand the timing of the market? Do you understand where these buyers actually are? Do you have access to these buyers? You know, some folks will say, well, I can get on MLS and I can list it on my own. Okay, fair. But you're going to bring a buyer's agent to that transaction because the folks that are seeing these MLS are professional buyer agents. And when you have the buyer agent coming in directly to you, they're going to want a commission. So you're still going to pay a certain commission, and you're in an imbalanced situation where that buyer has a professional working with them and you don't, and you're on your own. And I would caution you because right now the market is so unique. It's so very scarce that you really have to understand a lot of the moving pieces, right? The appraisal is a very important component to it right now. When you have a market that's accelerating the way it is the appraisal going to come in high enough for the person to obtain financing, right? What contingencies are necessary? What can be waived? What do you need as a seller? The home inspection, what about that? Are you pricing it correctly? And again, I want to talk about the timing of the market, right? Where and when are most buyers out there? And most importantly, what are you going to do when you sell your house? Right? Are you going to sell your house on your own and then ask a buyer's agent to help you find another one and try to line that up? No, you want to work with a professional that's going to guide you, that's going to help you through this very complicated process. And the reality of it is, Rob, our data shows that when somebody works with a professional, they're going to get substantially more money, more value for their property than if they didn't. And it's a perception, right? So a buyer comes in and says, oh, these people are bending down to pick up the dollar bills while the $100 bills fly over their back, right? So they're going to assume that they can undercut that person, right? They're using that against themselves. And the reality of it is when a professional does their job, attracts as many people to the property as possible, they absolutely unequivocally get much more money, which totally pays for the commission, right? Because that's what we're talking about, right? Some of the sellers will say, well, why should I have to pay 5%? The customary listing is 5 or 6% in our region. Why would I pay that if I could simply put it out to the market and shoot fish in a barrel, right? But at the end of the day, our data shows that, you know, it's more like 10, 12% more when you're working with a professional than when you're not. So it pays for itself and then some. And then the personal piece of it, you know, valuing your time and being confused and stressed out and disrupted throughout trying to get people in and out of your house with that doesn't even take into consideration the fire inspectors and the home inspectors and the appraisers and all of what goes along with what these professionals do so very well.
Wow. That's some good advice, and it's important, as you said, to think about this. And I imagine, the other part of it, obviously, is that you want to let a professional usually take care of things, because most of the time you've already got a lot on your plate,
Right.
whatever your full-time job is, and what you're doing regularly to not have to deal with buying and selling the house. You'd like to have them pick up some of the work, and that's why you've got a professional. So.
That's why you do it.
All right. Well, if people want to get in touch with Mark and his team, obviously real estate, they deal with that quite a bit. They deal with other areas as well. The website is stiles-law.com. You can go there and find out more about the practice areas. And also there's a link to different YouTube videos, which you can learn a lot as well. Right, Mark?
That's right. If you go to YouTube and you search Stiles Law, we have over 200 videos, and they're frequently asked questions, very similar to the questions that we talk about here. You can go into the search bar and pretty much search any question that you may have, and we probably have a video talking about it. So I encourage you to check out our YouTube channel or give us a call at 781-319-1900.
All right. And Jerry in West Bridgewater texting in says, buyers never like to look at the house when the homeowners are there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
another good point.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'd much rather. It's much
Right.
easier to.
Take the emotion out of it
Yeah.
as well.
All right, good advice. Thank you, Jerry, for the text, and thank you, as always, Mark Stiles. We do Feel Good Friday, every Friday at this time on WATD. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Rob, and drive safe, folks.